Welcome to Season 2 of Why Your Business is Invisible Online. This season, we focus on the dramatic change artificial intelligence is having on your online visibility. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
Hi, this is Jim Filatico. I'm currently obsessed with planning my next beach adventure for my whole family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs. We're talking about AI this season. I'm wondering, can I get an AI agent to clean my house?
And I'm your host, John Manatis, still glued to my guitar, but with my new band planning our next tour. One thing in this section I wanted to touch on was content tying much better than ever to your target market and being meaningful to them. So just elaborate on that a little bit, especially in the world of B2B. What happens when content doesn't evolve with the buyer in mind?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the question is, probably the answer is pretty obvious to most, right? If your content doesn't evolve, then you're just not going to get new business. Right now, more than ever, I think buyers are super informed from whatever. I just feel like, you remember back in the day, we used to have those, like if you were buying electronics, right? Remember, you would get Consumer Reports. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And so I feel like now the internet is the Consumer Reports for everything.
Yes.
There's
cool.
You're going to do your research, wherever you start, wherever you like to start, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, all the things that we've talked about before. Now this content is coming to you armed with information because the internet told them, right? And it used to be because Google told them, but now I'm going to broaden it to the whole internet because the internet told them. And maybe that information isn't completely right, or maybe you do something different. And that's what you want to communicate, I think. If you haven't even taken the time to research what's out there about what you sell and what they might be coming to you with. And it may just be simple as listening to them when you do talk to a customer. Oh yeah, I read this or I heard this. Where? Just ask, or you go do the research yourself. But the more you can evolve to what people are hearing and maybe even have a contrarian view, that could give you an edge.
The phrase I've heard here and there every so often is, your content, your legacy content could be technically live, but contextually, and that word context will come up quite a bit as we continue today's episode, but it's live, technically live, but your content is contextually obsolete. And I think you guys have been dealing with this concept of context a lot these days. Jim, maybe you can tackle this one. How do you feel context has become much more important to helping us being found?
Yeah, I have a firm that does Medicare. They help people with Medicare. If someone is searching for Medicare help, they don't know what they need help, and they're looking for it, especially now with AI search, because when you do a search on Google or on AI, the first thing they want to do is answer the question, solve the problem, right?
Yep.
So they're going to give you that summarization, right? They're going to give you that paragraph that tries to give you the answer immediately. If they're scraping your website and it says 2022, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to be served up. And so that's where making sure that your content is updated, making sure that those things happen. Otherwise, you're going to be bypassed. And especially if that happens more and more, your authority drops and you go in the penalty box, right? I mean, you're not even going to be served up. It's just you've completely missed the opportunity to be that authoritative figure by not keeping your content up to date and relevant to today. And so the Medicare firm that I work with, they send me both federal and state documents that we update all the time on their website to make sure that it stays up to date so that they keep their authority based on that.
Yeah, that's smart.
I mean, the sense I'm getting is a running theme that if we're not keeping things up to date, we lose a lot of a brand or any company's how they want to be seen out in the marketplace. Their credibility falls dramatically when you don't keep your content up to date, fresh, and so forth. A lot of things we've been talking about to this point. So now what? So we understand these things. What are some things we can help our listeners and our clients with when it comes to this? So Kelly, what's an easy way to flag old content that's hurting us more than helping us?
Yeah, so I'll give you two, because as Jim was talking, I thought about the one thing that I really pay attention to, and this is both on your website and in PowerPoints. And when I say this, you guys are going to be like 100%. Like, in your footer where it has like website created in, if yours is saying 2024 right now, go ahead and update it.
Yeah.
We're already into the year. It should be 2025. That happens on PowerPoint presentations too, right? Where it says copyright or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead and change those dates. That's a really quick one. But as it relates to content, I would just say getting a content audit, like we said, that's something that we definitely do for clients. And what we do is we just take and we just run an audit and see, like, from the very small and not going in, you can go depending on how many pages you have on your website. But we at least like to take like the first 20 pages of traffic. What we're checking for are the dates accurate. And these are the 20 pages. What we want to see is when people are going to your website, what are the top 20 URLs they're hitting on? And then we look on those pages. What we're looking for specifically is we're checking dates. We're checking external links, making sure none are broken, checking references. If it reads like it's from the past area, I have a funny story. I have a new client. I'll probably be talking about him as we go forward, but he does brand merchandising. And so his existing website, he's a cool kind of a dude, right? And so, but what you want to make sure is, are you cool? Are you still cool? Right? Like we were cool in the 90s and maybe into the 2000s, but some of the things that we probably said then, like something is fly. I'm thinking of Will Smith. Like this fly, what people say now in his world is, oh, that hits different. Right? So and even if you're going to say that, if you say this hits different, then what you're committing to is you better know what they're saying tomorrow, because hits different probably is going to fade out quicker than fly did. You know what I mean? So but you still want to stay relevant, because if the people buying the gear are Gen Zers and not Gen Xers or millennials, then you're not speaking to that audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Jim, I know again helping our listeners with good tips and so forth. What's your method for deciding what to update, what to delete, what to leave behind, and so forth?
Well, to kind of build on what Kelly just said about taking those top 20 website pages, if it's ranking, when you do the analysis, if it's ranking, but you can see that slipping over time, especially if it has really important keywords, really targeted keywords that are important to your business, that's when you update it. You want to make sure that you can refresh it and make sure that those keywords and that page then now resonates more. If it has really good backlinks, you want to make sure that you update it, because you don't want to lose those strong backlinks. So those are some of the things you want to do. If the backlinks are broken, fix them, those kind of things, update it, and then check how well they're doing afterwards. If it's not getting any traffic, if it's below 20 and it's not getting any traffic, there's no backlinks, it's not doing much, you can delete it. There's no reason to have that that the dead fruit hanging on the tree.
Yeah.
If it's not doing anything for it, right? Or if it's tied somewhat to like a promotion that's over. Get
Yeah.
that off of there. That
that's key.
screams.
Yeah.
We haven't updated our website, right?
Yeah.
Our 2024 spring promotion. Get rid of
Christmas.
it. Yeah, Christmas. There you go. But like Kelly said, if it's in the top 20 and it's ranking and it's performing well, you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
If it's accurate, right, it has to be relevant to the client you're going after. And if those links are linking internally to the website, you want to make sure that you keep those up just to make sure that it gets more and more traffic. And then, you tie it to social media, you tie it outside of the website, and that just builds it even more. So if it's doing all that, leave it. But otherwise, that's what I would suggest.
Okay, so to wrap up this section, I mean, something I mentioned earlier was the importance of content now more than ever. Not only for what we used to do with traditional, because we're still doing that, but with AI now and trying to be found everywhere, it's more important than ever. So, is it fair to say that? I know you guys are big fans of content audits. Pretty much everybody should be doing one right now. Now is a good time, considering the impact of AI. Plus, you're always freshening up how to be found on social platforms because they're all a little different, and the way your target markets are reacting to these different social platforms are different too. Like you were mentioning, millennials, they're going to react to Snapchat or TikTok or any of the platforms that you're out there very differently than another demographic group. So my gut tells me everybody should be doing a content audit right now just to set themselves up for future success and to have a decent foundation. What are both your thoughts on a content audit for most clients these days?
You should do it. And I would also say beyond audit, I would think about doing a refresh. And for me, if you're doing a refresh, you should do it, if you can swing it, it should be quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
And at a minimum, once a year, I would say treat it like spring cleaning. Pick a date and say, we're going to go ahead and do it. It just kind of, I would think of it this way. You wouldn't keep expired milk in your refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't keep expired advice on your website either.
That's a great quote. I love that. Yeah. That's a great quote. What are your thoughts on that, Jim?
Yeah, I agree 100%. If you have marketing tasks that you do, you're posting on social media, you're doing a content calendar, you're doing all those things. This should just be a part of that. Mm-hmm. And I agree with Kelly. You do it one time, you do that big cleaning, but then to maintain it takes a lot less effort. But if you if you do the analysis and look at those top 20 pages and watch them, then if you're just fixing one page at a time or updating one page at a time or deleting one page at a time, it takes a lot less effort, but it keeps those search engines, all of them, aware that you're updating your website. So that's the best thing you can do. Just make it as part of your workload. It'll be tough at first when you do the first one, but after that, it shouldn't be that tough.
Okay, cool. So basically, we should be doing it. We should have an eye on it year round, but we should also pick one time a year where you do a thorough look at everything and set yourself up for future success. Before we move on to the next segment, let's sort of highlight some of the key points. We talked about obviously the importance of content and doing an audit and doing it year round, but also finding a point in time where you can do a thorough look throughout your content and really position it for success in the future, especially with the impact that AI is having. The other, key point there is the credibility that you lose when you're not doing it right, when you're not keeping things fresh and so forth. And I think in the world of AI now, your brand has become so much more important, and credibility and brand go hand in hand. And so if your content isn't fresh for whatever reason, and we're not keeping an eye on it, credibility, authority, these are the types of words that are associated with brand. And the reason I bring up brand, it'll come up more and more often, is because AI, with everybody using it and asking it the same questions, will tend to lead to content that looks the same. And so your brand is the thing that's going to differentiate you. Okay, so that wraps up our section on why content is still king. Clearly, you understand that there's a lot of things involved in the delivery of content in order to keep it fresh.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.